So now we're going to draw the reciprocal graph, which is where y equals 1 over x. So I've taken a range of different values for x here, and we can work out what y is by doing 1 divided by the x number. 1 divided by 2 is a half. 1 divided by 1½ is 2/3. 1 divided by 1 is 1. 1 divided by a half is 2. 1 divided by 0 approaches infinity. Infinity is not a number, it's a concept, so we can't write it equals infinity, but basically it's not possible to do 1 divided by 0. 1 divided by minus a half is minus 2. 1 divided by minus 1 is minus 1. 1 divided by minus 1½ is minus 2/3. Let's put this on a graph, and we get these points here, and if we join them up we get a graph that's in two sections. There's a discontinuity at x equals 0 at this point here. Y has no value. We can't put infinity onto a graph. Now if you're asked to sketch the graph of y equals 1 over x, you're not supposed to plot the values. You're expected to remember that the graph looks a little bit like this. The graph curves around towards the x-axis and the y-axis. Both the x-axis and the y-axis are asymptotes. The graph approaches these asymptotes, but it never actually crosses them at those points. So the graph is in two sections. Now let's consider two more graphs, y equals 2 over x and y equals minus 1 over x. I've drawn in red the graph of y equals 1 over x. 2 over x is twice as big, so basically every coordinate is doubled. So y equals 2 over x looks like that. Y equals minus 1 over x is simply a reflection in the x-axis, so it looks a little bit like that. Now sometimes you get asked to find where graphs intersect. So here I've drawn the graph of y equals x squared and y equals 1 over x. Where do they meet? Well, they meet where the y values are the same. In other words, where x squared equals 1 over x. If you multiply both sides by x, you get x cubed equals 1. X cubed equals 1 means x equals 1. So they intersect at the point where x equals 1 and y, well, 1 squared is 1.